Hello, students. Welcome. Happy snow day. Today is Wednesday, February 22nd, and I can write a paragraph arguing who was primarily to blame for the conflict between Hamilton and Jefferson. In class yesterday, we already made a copy of this worksheet, and so you should have it in your Google Drive. If you weren't in class yesterday, then you need to make a copy right here. And I'll open it here. It should look like this. A lot of you guys answered a lot of these questions. I'm just going to read through it in case you're struggling with it. Some of the language might be hard to understand. Alexander Hamilton is the letter to George Washington, 1792. This letter was written by Alexander Hamilton to President George Washington on September 9th, 1792. Hamilton was the Secretary of the Treasury in Washington's administration. And as you go through this, you should highlight the directions, say, annotate each letter, highlight in red anything they blame or accuse the other. Highlight in blue, highlight in blue their defense of themselves, highlight in yellow their respect for Washington, and answer these questions. And there's 18 questions. And at the end, you've got to write this paragraph right here at the top. And you should follow each bullet point. You need to have a thesis statement that answers the question. So you're answering whose fault was this conflict. Have two quotations, one from each letter. Each quote should be cited by the author. Each quote should be followed by an elaboration. Restate the thesis in a conclusion. It should be free from spelling and grammar mistakes. And this is graded as 4 assessment points. And so, so let's read through this. Okay, so here's the first letter. This is Alexander Hamilton writing a letter to George Washington. Dear sir, I've received your letter of August 26. I sincerely regret you've been made to feel uneasy in your administration. So that implies that Washington probably said, hey, Hamilton, I feel uneasy in my administration. So we don't have Washington's letter, but we have Hamilton's letter, and that answers number 1. Okay, and then according to Hamilton's letter, what appears to be the source of conflict? Hamilton says this: I sincerely regret that you've been made to feel uneasy in your administration. I'll do anything to smooth the path of your administration. So I would highlight that in yellow and to highlight, you just highlight like this, and then you click on, is it this button? Nope, it's this button, the highlight color, and you could click on yellow. And heal the differences, though I consider myself the injured party. So here he's accusing Jefferson of causing all the problems. And so that's the answer to number 2. I know that I've been an object of total opposition from Jefferson. So that's definitely, you would highlight that in red because here he's accusing Jefferson. I know from the most authentic sources that I've been the frequent subject of the most unkind whispers by him. Again, that would be in red, that he's accusing Jefferson of talking bad about him behind his back. I've watched a party in the legislature with the single purpose of opposing me. I believe from all the evidence I possess that the National Gazette, a newspaper, was instituted by Jefferson. So here's another accusation for political purposes. So I would highlight that in red. He's accusing Jefferson of creating this newspaper that talks bad about Hamilton and opposes Hamilton's political agenda, with its main purpose to oppose me in my department. Nevertheless, I can truly say that besides explanations to confidential friends, I never directly or indirectly responded to these attacks until very recently. So I would highlight that in blue because here he's defending himself. He's saying, I didn't respond until really recently. But when I saw that they were determined to oppose the banking system, which would ruin the credit and honor of the nation, I considered it my duty to resist their outrageous behavior. So again, there's the accusation. Nevertheless, I pledge my honor to you, sir, that if you shall form a plan to reunite the members of your administration, I will faithfully cooperate. So I'd highlight that in yellow because here again, he's saying, hey, Washington, I'll do anything you ask. And I will not directly or indirectly say or do a thing to cause a fight. I have the honor to remain, sir, your most obedient, humble servant, Alexander Hamilton. And so much of that would be yellow. Thomas Jefferson. he writes to George Washington, and his letter's a little different. There's a lot of similarities. Dear Sir, I received your letter of August 23rd. You note that there have been internal tensions in your administration. So again, he's implying that Washington wrote to him saying, hey, there's been all this tension. These tensions are of great concern to me. I wish that you should know the whole truth. I've never tried to convince members of the legislature to defeat the plans of the Secretary of the Treasury. I value too highly their freedom of judgment. I admit that I have in private conversations disapproved of the system of the Secretary of the Treasury. So here, a lot of this, he's defending himself, so I'd highlight that in blue. However, this is because his system stands against liberty and is designed to undermine and demolish the republic. I'd highlight that in red because those are accusations. He's accusing Hamilton. I would like for these tensions to fade away, and my respect for you is enough to motivate to wait to express my thoughts until I am again a private citizen. So that's yellow. He's saying, as long as I'm still in the cabinet and in your administration, I won't criticize Hamilton. I'll wait until I'm finally not in your cabinet. And then once I'm a private citizen, at that point, however, I reserve the right to write about the issues that concerns the republic. So he's saying that once I'm a private citizen, then I'm going to go right back to bashing Hamilton all that I want. I will not let my retirement be ruined by the lies of a man who if history stoops to notice him, will remember a person who worked to destroy liberty. So here he's insulting Hamilton. He's dissing on him. I wonder what he would think today about the recent Broadway play that's a smash hit. There's no Jefferson recent Broadway play, but there's a big Hamilton play. I trust that you know that I'm not an enemy to the Republic. So this is in blue. Nor a waster of the country's money, nor a traitor, as Hamilton has written about me. In the meantime, I'm with great and sincere affection and respect, dear sir, your most obedient and humble servant. And so that will again be in yellow. And so I hope that that makes sense. So fill out these questions. It's pretty clear, what he does if you just paid attention to the text. And you can pick quotes and, what is each one of them saying? What did Hamilton accuse Jefferson of? And so it's pretty straightforward. And then this is some of this is your own opinion based on both of these letters, what seems to have been happening in George Washington's administration. So explain that in your own words. Which letter is angrier? Find a quote to support your claim. I think one is clearly angrier than the other. One's a little bit harsher than the other. One's out of the two, who appears to have greater deference or respect towards Washington. So I think there's a pretty clear difference there too. And then once you have that done, your goal is to write this paragraph and make sure you have all these elements in it. And again, the whole thing is graded as 4 assessment points. I hope that helps. Please reach out to me with any questions. Good luck.